Most people don't know this, but ancient myths didn't just entertain. They built empires. This secret history seems almost illegal to know. Have you ever wondered how ancient myths influenced the rise and fall of great empires? In this video, we're uncovering the top 5 ways myths shaped the ancient world. From the divine right of kings to the unifying power of shared stories, these myths were more than just tales. They were the very foundation of civilizations. But here's the twist. Some of these myths hold dark secrets and hidden truths that have been buried for centuries. What if I told you that behind every great empire, there were myths that manipulated, controlled, and even destroyed? Stay with us till the end to discover some lesser-known facts and events that will change the way you see history. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Welcome to Mythos Fact. If you love diving deep into the fascinating world of myths and history, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join our community. Let's get started. Myth as a foundation of power. This is one of the most famous stories in mythology. Let's look into it before we talk about the great powers that myths helped build. This story is more than just a story. It helped make Rome what it is today. According to the legend, a she-wolf raised twin boys named Romulus and Remus after leaving them at birth. As they got bigger, they chose to build a city. However, a fight made Romulus kill Remus, and Romulus went on to build Rome. This myth wasn't just a story about siblings fighting. It was a strong story that gave Rome a divine beginning and a heroic founder. This story had a huge effect on Roman society. People felt like they were part of a single group because they thought they were descended from a god. The idea that everyone in the Roman Empire had a great ancestor helped bring the different groups of people together. Also, the story supported the rule of emperors, who were often seen as Romulus's heirs and had a divine right to rule. It's important to understand how these basic stories gave people a sense of who they were and what they were entitled to, which was essential for the growth and stability of old empires. Myths in governance and law. Let's look at how myths affect law and government before we talk about how stories bring cultures together. People in Egypt thought of their pharaohs as gods, not just rulers. This idea came from powerful stories about gods like Osiris and Ra. In Egyptian folklore, Osiris, the god of the afterlife, and Ra, the sun god, were very important. People saw the pharaohs as live representations of these gods, which made them even more powerful. This divine status wasn't just a show. It was an important part of their rule. Pharaohs could get complete loyalty and respect from their people because they were seen as gods. These stories changed Egyptian culture in big ways. These links to gods helped pharaohs enforce the law and keep society running smoothly. People thought the pharaoh was a god on earth, so they thought his orders were holy and should not be questioned. This set of beliefs was very important for keeping the Egyptian state stable and united. It's important to note that these divine stories set the rules for government and law, ensuring the pharaoh's unquestionable and absolute power. Myths as cultural unifiers. Let's look at how myths were used in war and victory, and how they brought people together in ancient Greece. Even though Greek city-states were different, they all shared stories that helped them feel like a group. Greek myths about gods like Zeus and Hera were more than just stories. They were an important part of everyday life. Zeus, who was king of the gods, and Hera, who was his queen, were very important in Greek mythology. From Athens to Sparta, these stories were told in all of the city-states, giving them a sense of a common history and identity. All Greeks knew the stories of their adventures and exchanges with each other, which gave them a shared cultural background. The events that were told had a huge effect. The Greeks held festivals and traditions based on these myths, which brought them closer together. The Olympic Games, which were held in honor of Zeus, brought people from different city-states together and helped them understand each other's cultures. People from different city-states believed in the same stories, which helped bring them together and give them a sense of purpose. Prior to discussing how myths affected art and building, it is important to note that these shared stories helped to build cultural unity and keep the Greek identity strong despite political and social differences. Myths in warfare and conquest. Let us examine the essential role that myths played in battle and conquest, especially among the Vikings, before we speak about the impact of myths on artistic and architectural practices. The stories of gods such as Odin and Thor gave the Vikings tremendous strength, and they even believed the gods fought with them in combat. Two major characters in Norse mythology were Thor, the god of thunder, and Odin, the god of war. The Vikings considered these gods as more than just objects of devotion. They were integral parts of their daily existence. The warriors believed that the gods, Odin and Thor, bestowed unmatched bravery and strength, making them immune to harm in combat. This unwavering confidence served as fuel for the unmatched ferocity and bravery displayed by Viking fighters. These myths had an effect that went beyond specific conflicts. These beliefs served as motivation for and justification for the numerous raids and expansions carried out by the Vikings. Their conquests were divinely justified because they believed they were doing what the gods wanted. It wasn't just for plunder. Their gods mandated a greater cause. The heavenly mandate brought the soldiers together, gave them purpose, and justified their conduct. It must be acknowledged that these potent tales shaped the Vikings' history and legacy by inspiring and justifying their legendary conquests. Only then can we speak of the impact of mythology on art and architecture. Myths in art and architecture. Let us dive into the ways in which Mayan stories impacted art and architecture before we discuss the conclusion. The religious beliefs of the Mayans had a significant impact on their creative and building practices. The purpose of the Mayan temples and pyramids was to house deities and to depict scenes from Mayan mythology. These massive buildings served as more than simply temples. They embodied the stories that shaped Mayan civilization. The sacred mountains that rose above the jungle canopy and became known as pyramids were believed to link the earth with the heavens. The elaborate sculptures and murals that covered their temples depicted scenes from their mythology, including tales of creation and the exploits of their deities. These structures had a significant impact on the Mayan civilization. These massive structures could be constantly reminded of their leaders' divine rights. These architectural wonders served as a means for the rulers, who were frequently believed to be divine heirs or agents, to solidify their authority and credibility. The monarch's divine connection was affirmed by the sheer magnitude and magnificence of the pyramids and temples, which ensured that their authority was revered and uncontested. Acknowledging the significance of these myth-inspired structures in Mayan religious rituals and in upholding the social and political order of the civilization is crucial. Conclusion. From Rome to the Vikings, myths have played a crucial role in shaping ancient empires. We've seen how the myth of Romulus and Remus laid the foundation for Rome's identity, how Egyptian pharaohs used myths to reinforce their divine authority, how Greek myths unified city-states, how Norse myths inspired Viking warriors, and how Mayan myths influenced their grand architecture. Think about how these ancient stories continue to influence our world today. What myths shape your beliefs? Reflect on the power of these narratives and how they have woven the fabric of our history. Myths are more than just stories. They're the threads that weave the fabric of history. Keep exploring, and you'll uncover the myths that shape our world. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel, Mythos Fact, for more fascinating insights into the world of myths and history. Thanks for watching.